Shalom YISRA'EL, this is Brother Yaakov. This video is specifically for the response to sister on open diary, asking the brothers, what are we going to do about this situation? So I'm just going to answer this through scripture and through prayer. So I pray that these words be acceptable in the sight of the Most High YAH. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. So, first and foremost, it's a sad thing that happened to this sister and to this young lady, and it's really hurtful to see this in our community. But we all know, those of us who are in the truth, we know what the word says in Deuteronomy chapter 28 about the curses and the types of things that our people would do and the types of things that would come upon us. So. The point is we need solutions. And so I know you asked the men what are they going to do, but you can call yourself, men can call themselves self-proclaimed leaders of YISRA'EL, but the word says that you will know a tree by its fruits. Okay, so just because men call themselves leader of YISRA'EL doesn't mean that that's what they are. And anything that we do has to be led by the Spirit and has to be by Scripture. Okay, I'm going to say it again. At this point, what we do must be according to the scripture and led by the Ruach HaKodesh. All right, so let's go. We're going to go down the checklist real fast, all right? The word in marching is not going to work. If any of the brothers who thinking about marching or protesting or whatever the case may be, that ain't going to work. We know what it says in the word in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 25, it says, Yahweh causes you to be defeated before your enemies. You go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and you shall become a horror to all the reigns of the earth. So marching ain't going to work. It ain't been working. So that ain't going to work. So that's off the list. All right. I seen one brother say that he want to take up arms and go purge all of the wicked brothers out of YISRA'EL. Now, while that may seem like something that a lot of brothers may want to choose and something that your anger may be aroused, but that's not an option either, right? Why is that? Because the word says we need to save room for the wrath of Yah, as it says in Romans chapter 12, but more specifically, we're going to go to Leviticus. In the book of Leviticus chapter 19, it says, we're going to start at verse 17. Do not hate your brother in your heart. Reprove your neighbor for certain and bear no sin because of him. So now reproving these men would be good, but taking vengeance and purging people is not the option. All right, it says in verse 18, do not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the children of your people, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahweh. Okay, so as you see, most likely in the video, all the young dudes stumping out that little girl, they were all Hebrews. Okay, and as this word says, do not take vengeance. Do not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the children of your people. Those are the children of our people. Therefore, going out and purging them is not an option. Okay, you save room for the wrath of Yah. You understand? Now, there are scriptures where the word will tell us to purge the evil from our midst. But first of all, we would have to be in a position to do that. We'll get on that on the next topic. But the point of it is you're supposed to save room for the wrath of Yah. And so for those of you who know the word and know what the scripture says in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20, all right, verse, it talks about when we come out, he going to bring us to the wilderness of the people. And it says in verse 37, chapter 20 of Ezekiel, chapter 20, verse 37, and I shall make you pass under the rod and shall bring you to the bond of the covenant and purge the rebels from among you and those who transgress against me. From the land where they sojourn, I bring them out, but they shall not come into the land of YISRA'EL, and you shall know that I am Yahweh. I'm going to read that first part again. And purge the rebels from among you. Okay, so Yah is the one that's going to be doing the purging. Okay, so don't take it among yourselves to think you're finna go around city to city killing wicked Israelites. Okay, that ain't what the word says. So that's off the list. Scratch that. All right. Now, however, the word does say to reprove them or warn them, be a watchman for the house of YISRA'EL and tell them about their sins. you know, and that's one thing. But the option that I see will be most effective is what the word says, to come out from among her. We get that in Hazon in Revelation chapter 18 verse 4. We also get it in Isaiah chapter 52, and then I'm gonna read the one in 2 Corinthians chapter 6. We're coming from Isaiah 52. I'm gonna read it. It says in chapter 6 of 2 Corinthians verse 17, therefore come out from among them and be separate, says Yahweh, and do not touch what is unclean, and I shall receive you. Now, we are instructed to come out from among them. Now, I understand there's going to be a lot of people who's going to say, well, a lot of us don't have the means to come out. A lot of us don't have the money to come out from among them, or to move to a different country, or to do this or do that. Listen, here's the point, okay? This is the point. This is why we need to take our kids out of public schools. As I've seen a lot of them dudes, they had backpacks on, so it looked like they just got out of school or something. If our daughters weren't in these public systems, they wouldn't be getting stumped out by a bunch of hoodlums and by a bunch of busters, a bunch of cowards. They wouldn't be getting stumped out in the first place. So at the end of the day, it's time for the brothers who are the true leaders, because those who are true leaders of YISRA'EL, they will have the means to do what's necessary in order to take care of Yah's people, as the word says, to provide for the poor and for the widows, and to be a father to the fatherless and a husband to their mother. So therefore, for those who truly seek to serve Yah, you will have a means to come out by those who are the true leaders of YISRA'EL, whomever Yah has appointed and whomever he's given the means to do so. But we will not be able to do this without unity. So therefore, but what you're going to have to get some understanding is our women and our daughters and our sons and the men, you're going to have to stop living above your means. This means you're not going to be able to use all the stuff that you want to use all the time, and your debit cards, your TV, and all the lavish lifestyle crap that you used to in your life. You're going to have to go back to living in tents. We're going to have to go back to living in a way where you ain't got all these extra accessories and all of that. So it ain't going to be how you want. But at least you won't be around all this violence, because you'll be around your people who keeping the commands of Yah. So this is the action that needs to be taken. Those are the brothers who are the true leaders of YISRA'EL. If you got means, and it's time to start buying some land, start buying some property, start buying some houses. They got old school houses where they got 20, 30 rooms inside of them. Start driving through these cities and picking up some of these women and these kids and putting them in these houses and stuff. There's many different ideas and things that we can do to get our people up out of here, for those who don't have the money to come out. The problem is that the men who got the means to do it ain't doing it, and they're using the means for themselves. Or some of them are doing. I'm not speaking for all the brothers, because there are brothers in YISRA'EL that's doing things. But the whole point is, the word says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they old, they will not depart from it. Not put your kids in public schooling. You see, I'm not trying to point fingers at nobody and make nobody to blame, but everybody got to take accountability for their actions. Okay, if we did what we were supposed to be doing, your kids wouldn't be in there in the first place. But we lazy, and then it's hard because our females are single mothers as well, so they forced to do that. She working, she probably come from a single parent home. Ain't no telling. She probably live with a mama that's paying the bills. That gotta go to work, so she ain't got no choice but to send her to school. But the whole point is the household is out of order. Period. So first of all, we need to train our men. Our men, before we can start leading, call ourselves so-called leaders, the men need to know how to lead. So we need to start training. We need to come out. And before you get to talking about purging the rebels from us, or if you was going to do any purging from your midst, we would have to first be in a community setting to where you living amongst those who know the Torah, who know right from wrong. These men out here don't even know right from wrong. So you can't go out there and just start purging people because they don't even know. Even as it says in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 20, what verse? Chapter 20, verse 10, it says, and when you draw near to a city to fight against it, then you shall make a call for peace to it. So even when we was finna fight against our enemies, you would draw near to call peace to it before you would go and besiege it. So going out and just purging our people is not the option. They would need to be warned. But we would have to be in a setting where our people know. Half these people, most likely, all those little dudes that did what they did, they didn't even know who they are in the first place. Now, that don't justify their wickedness, but what I'm saying is that takes away the opportunity for you to even think you got the ability to go and purge somebody. The point of it is that we need to take proactive measures, and we need to start doing what the word says. The word says, come out of her. So if we come out of her, and start keeping y'all's commands, we will be blessed. Okay, the problem is y'all want to stay living in the places where you at. You want to keep the luxuries that you used to. You're going to have to let that go. That's why Yahushua HaMashiach told you, told the rich young ruler, give up what you have and give it to the poor and follow me. He went away sorrowful because he didn't want to give it up. You can live without all that violence. You can live amongst your people in peace, as it says in Acts chapter 4 and Acts chapter 2. But the only how you're going to do that is you have to give up all this crap you used to, give up all the stuff that you love. And that's the problem. We ain't gonna have to see our women getting raped and beat up and see our men going to jail every day or getting killed and all this nonsense if we do what the word tell us to and obey the commands of Yah and come out of her. So that's the point. So the point of it is we need to save some room for the vengeance of Yah. We need to start speaking up for what's right and for what's wrong and start teaching our men what's right and what's wrong and start whooping some ass. Okay, it ain't got a result always to killing, but once you start whooping some ass, go back to whooping your kids' ass. Regardless of what the government system tell you, whoop your damn kids. That's the damn problem right now. You ain't whooping nobody, and they run around doing what they want to do. Your kids is ruling over you. We ain't ruling. That's the problem. So we need to start training up our kids and teaching them what it means to be a man, teaching these young dudes what it means. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm gonna read, and I'm gonna get up out of here. In the book of Revelations, chapter 21, this is what it says. All right. In verse 7, it says, the one who overcomes shall inherit all this, and I shall be his Elohim, and he shall be my son. Verse 8, this is the key point right here. But as for the cowardly and untrustworthy and abominable and murderers and those who whore and drug sorcerers and idolaters and all the false, their part is in the lake which burns with fire and sulfur, which is the second death. So here's the situation. The word says save room for the wrath of Yah. Now this just talked about the second death and the lake of fire. The first words you got in there when they spoke about all of those who's going to be in the lake of fire was cowardly. That's the first word you got in there is cowards. See, you got to be willing to stand for what's right and do what's right. So all this talking about what we going to do and all that, let's get together then and let's talk about how we going to do this. Let's put some money together for our sisters and our brothers to start getting up out of these cities and taking our kids up out these public school systems and dealing with what we need to deal with. Start learning how to grow, teach our women how to grow food and how to rear up children, all that good stuff, and teach our men how to be men and protectors. How the men going to do what they supposed to do? They don't even know what they supposed to do. They don't even know who the hell they is. See, this is the problem. But I don't want to drag this out. I just wanted to respond to that. So the first thing we would need to be doing on taking action, if anybody want to lead YISRA'EL or call themselves leading YISRA'EL, the first action will be is figuring out how to get our people up out these cities. And there's many ways. Technology in this day and age, there's really no excuse. The way technology is, we can come together and we can put some things together, start getting these sisters and mothers and single parents about these ghettos and about these hoods and all of that. You're going to have to live a way that you ain't used to, but it's a way to get up out of there. Okay, but that's the point right there. That's the action that needs to be taken. Come up out of her. We don't need to have our kids in these public schools. You don't need to be going to these movie theaters, wearing Daisy Dukes, all at the mall and all this nonsense, hanging out, going to parties and all that. That's another problem too. Where are your kids hanging out at? What you doing? What does the parents let them do? Start getting on these parents. That's what we need to start doing too. Start getting on these parents. What you letting your kids do? How you letting them dress? What you letting them do? Who they hanging around with? What they friends doing? How they friends talking? See? All these things are all parts of this whole picture that we need to look at. We can't look at this thing one-sided. We need to look at all variables. All right. I pray this has been some insight to some of y'all, whatever the case may be, or somebody, whoever's seeking a true solution to this problem. But it's not gonna happen overnight, and it's gonna take some work. You can't be tired. You can't be lazy. You can't be making excuses and all that. But if we come together and we do this in unity, like Yahushua HaMashiach prayed, that we would be one as He and the Father are one. And the word says that with Elohim, all things are possible. So for those who are men that truly do want to help and lead YISRA'EL, this is the way to do it. Seek Yah through prayer, supplication, ask for guidance by the Ruach HaKodesh, and do what the word says, which is to come out of her. Shalom.